Hey guys, the story I am going to bring you today is a trilogy. This is the first book in the series. It's called A Tale Dark and Grim, and it's by Adam Gidwitz. This is a very unique story. It's kind of scary, but in a twisted kind of way. And what I'm going to do is read the introduction. It's not very long. All right, if I can turn to, okay. Once upon a time, fairy tales were awesome. I know, you don't believe me. I don't blame you. A little while ago, I wouldn't have believed it myself. Little girls and red caps skipping around the forest? Awesome? I don't think so. But then I started to read them, the real Grimm ones. Very few little girls in red caps in those. Well, there's one, but she gets eaten. Okay, you're probably saying, if fairy tales are awesome, why are all the ones I've heard so unbelievably numbingly boring? You know how it is with stories. Someone tells a story, then somebody repeats it and changes it. Someone else repeats it and changes it again. Then someone's telling it to their kid and taking out all the scary, bloody scenes. In other words, the awesome parts. And the next thing you know, the story's about an adorable little girl in a red cap skipping through the forest to take cookies to her granny. And you're so bored you've passed out on the floor. The real Grimm stories are not like that. Take Hansel and Gretel, for example. Two greedy little children try to eat a witch's house, so she decides to cook and eat them instead. Which is fair, it seems to me, but before she can follow through on her perfectly reasonable plan, they lock her in an oven and bake her to death. Which is pretty cool, you have to admit. But maybe it's not awesome. Except, and here's the thing, that's not the real story of Hansel and Gretel. You see, there is another story in Grimm's fairy tales, a story that winds all throughout the moldy, mysterious tome, like a trail of breadcrumbs winding through a forest. It appears in your tales you may never have heard, like Faithful Johannes and Brother and Sister, and in some that you have, Hansel and Gretel, for instance. It is the story of two children, a girl named Gretel and a boy named Hansel, traveling through a magical and terrifying world. It is the story of two children striving and failing and then not failing. It is the story of two children finding out the meaning of things. Before I go on, a word of warning. Grimm's stories, and the ones that weren't changed for little kids, are violent and bloody. And what you're going to hear now, the one true tale in the Tale of Grimm, is as violent and bloody as you can imagine. Really. So, if such things bother you, you should probably stop right now. You see, the land of Grimm can be a harrowing place, but it is worth exploring. For, in life, it is the darkest zones one finds the brightest beauty and the most luminous wisdom. And, of course, the most blood. So, if you dare, try A Tale Dark and Grim. This is an awesome, very interesting series.